he made a move in the market. So hopefully you guys were okay with today's price action. I thought it was pretty okay in terms of what we expected to see and what they actually did. Was there anyone shocked? Like you didn't follow what's going on?
The day to me.
So when we talked about this, in the beginning, there was a couple of days that we were in balance. I did right here, and I highlighted in green. Pay attention, see if you get other time frame sellers above weekly poor high. That is ideal spot for them to show up. But if they crack above and hold, then what did they have to hold today? What is the level?
278-ish.
Well, I'm sorry, say it again.
Oh, are you talking about earlier in the day?
Once they broke above, what did they have to hold? What level they had to hold?
I can't
see
that chart. Let me look. I got TPO open.
The two sets of single prints?
Well, they had to hold above 53.48 because that would mean that they're looking for prices that are higher than the previous bracket, right? So whenever you have a breakout, as you did, today, if they're not able to hold the breakout, what does it tell you about the breakout?
They didn't like it.
That means the breakout found supply. It found the sellers. We go higher in searching for sellers. Today we found them. I mentioned, even yesterday, I said, I don't think we found the sellers yet. And we had a poor high. Of course, they came here and they cleaned it up and they gave you massive single prints, right? And I wrote a couple of days before that if you have single prints inside the bracket, that they don't mean as much. Do you get why they don't mean as much now? Does this make sense to you guys? What happened? I mean, let's take a look. You had single prints here, quite a bit of single prints here, single prints here, poor high, poor high, poor high, poor high, and you had single prints here. So every day, I would say, I'm pretty sure here, yeah, you had single prints on the bottom and poor highs on the top. So there was unfinished business pretty much every day with late spikes. I think 4 out of 6 sessions had spikes. If they're telling you unfinished is business here, 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 and then above, remember, they usually show up above value and below value. And that's why I wrote that in Shorty's corner. This is what you're looking for. This is your other time frame sellers. You hit a supply of sellers sitting here. And when you do, all those market buys that people were, because in the video buying, eventually they learned the lesson that you don't just buy. Because on these breakouts, if you're a momentum trader, what happened to you today?
You got humbled.
Yeah, you got humbled.
Destroyed.
There was 2 longs I tried, 2 longs I got stops for, I think it was $925 total. And then I flipped short.
When did you flip short, Shorty?
I was on
Do you
NQ.
remember?
I would have to look at the log, but basically it was on the NQ. Once they lost a key level identified, I'm like, there's no reason. And then ES, of course, was losing this. I was like, okay, well, time to flip it. I'll find NQ entry in the time and I'll share.
It was pretty early. I do remember. It was like before open.
So once they, you looked at this price action when you go on the candles, right? Let me see if this. Yeah, so here, let's see. So you go higher, and we actually hit one of the 1276. If you guys remember, you guys recall that we had some SIGs here. That was our first target, was right there, and the second target was 75 to 80, I believe. We can find out, but it was somewhere around here. We had the first SIG, like I think it was 60.5, and then once I saw that they're not able to basically sustain this, and then you looked at NQ, and NQ was not looking mighty strong. So this was basically your open test and reject and reverse, right? So rejection, reverse, auction, and then boom. And basically, when in terms of drive, right? When you look at this, all of the price action, it's where you opened, right? They opened pretty much at the highs. And what happened then in every candle, 1 minute candles, this is your open test drive down. You basically, massive sellers showed up here, you had a gap, and then people started buying some of this, right? You see this even in a period, they started buying a little bit. Then if you go and split this, the message becomes a little bit clear. So your B was your signal here. And why is that, Chance?
For me personally, I wanted to see them reclaim that 40 to 44 zone, and they.
I'm just looking at market profile now. I
Oh.
want you to tell me, why is the B suspicious in this price action here?
No lower low.
We created poor low. So this is your poor low. You asked me what is poor low. It's where you have two periods, A and B, are identical. This is a warning sign. This is your first warning sign saying, hey, we have some unfinished business here. They came again, but what did they do again between C and D?
Another poor high.
Another poor low.
Another poor low, right? So now you have two poor lows that you're going to have to deal with, right? And they just kept digging a hole that was a little bit deeper and deeper, right?
Could you explain why that was another poor low on C and D?
So there's only one letter here. Remember, it has to be two letters. If there was another D period right here, if the price auctioned 5,316, then you would have I suck at drawing like this, but here, I'll try. Wow, pretty close. I'm actually proud of that drawing. Let me take a snapshot of that.
So you need at least two solo letter blocks lower. Otherwise, it's poor low.
This would be now excess low if there was two Ds here. You need two or more to be access low, means other time frame participants are there. The more single prints you have, the indication is the sellers or buyers, if it's a buying or selling tail, are fairly aggressive, right? So here they gave you indication that, does everybody understand what I'm explaining? Is there anyone that doesn't? New people?
Just to confirm, so 2 is considered not a poor low, or is still a poor low?
No, 2 plus, let's say, over 2 TPO equals access.
Okay, so 2 is still a poor low.
That's correct.
Got it.
No, 2 is access. I'm sorry. 2 is access. So if you have 2 or more, so let's put it.
Oh, so should it be larger and equal, right? Yeah. Got it.
There you go.
And then 2 together was a poor low as well.
So if there's 1 or less, it's poor low. I would do maybe that way. It's better.
And then I was talking about the A and B, since they're that A and B next to each other is a poor low as well.
This here, there's nothing, and then there's a poor high here, and there's a little bit of a excess here on D, and then E. You see how high they opened up. Then basically they made higher highs, but then every other one had poor low here, right? So they didn't really go. And what I tell you guys, remember about framing down, and what's the percent of that A period that you need to hold in a bullish, or what's the one in a bearish trend? What is that percentage?
50%.
That's correct. And remember, you use the 50%. If you can't break 50%, you're most likely framing down for every candle, right? So between A and B, did B ever even encroach that? Not really. And then you can check B and C. That's why you have a consolidation, right? But overall, your A period only got challenged in, I would say, E and F, but it was still creating, poor structure.
Poor highs.
So this leaves you then, when you think about access low, access high, this is your access high for the day. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's fairly simple, right?
So we would have wanted, to reinforce a bullish bias, we would have wanted to actually push that 50% mark on the A period.
Yes.
Okay.
That would mean that there's a high chance you're going to start building higher and reversing.
Is your tick size at 4 right now?
Probably.
Okay.
Yep.
But you
It's
just
the
changed it.
concept. Yeah, I changed it to 1, but the concept is what I'm after. Maybe the levels will shift a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Shorty, a little curious. What is the concept of tick size here?
What is the concept of access?
No, tick size.
Tick
Like
size.
between 1 to, yeah.
So right now I'm on 1. I'm on 1 right now. I was on 4, but now I was kind of showing just because it makes it easier for me not to keep zooming in. Right now I'm on 1, and you see that your access is actually massive. This is
Yeah, starts
exactly.
from 40 to 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're on,
So
yeah, if you're
what
on
is this
1, you're
tick
gonna have
size?
more than 2. If you're on
No.
1, once you get down to the secondary, the periods C and D, you've got extension.
Let's see.
Right.
So you go to C, your total, you got a total extension there.
No.
Oh, here?
Yeah,
No,
when
A and
you
B
hit
are
C,
still up
no, I'm
totally
saying when
low.
you hit C, you've got extension, and then D, oh, it's still only 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's poor low, guys.
No. Shorty, my question is that what data this tick size holds? Between like 1, 2, 3, 4. What data we are processing here?
1 tick per row. 1 tick per each row of this.
Sunny, so
I
the tick
see.
is 0.25, right? That's
Yeah,
1
tick
tick.
is a quarter.
Oh, I got it. Now I got
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I was like, man, I don't know what am I?
Yeah. Now I'm clear. Oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, 4 ticks per point, right? So, all right, sorry. So now, I mean, you had the poor low. Once they are able to resolve this auction, they agreed, hey, we're going lower. And then C and D, you see how, you have a lower high, you have a lower low with the poor low, and then they come back and fix it again here at 16. And I think here, once we crack this level, I think at 315, I said you're going to get 05. At 1015, I told you 91 was my target right here. And we had some major levels at that 91. I deleted everything, but here. And then, of course, you have nothing happening here. Basically, we stayed on the bottom. So now when you zoom in, right, when you go on, let's say, weekly chart, and we're going to change this for a moment. Just going to delete everything.
Real quick, on the TPO thing, how is it that you got like multiple? If you remember, when you showed you were grabbing a couple different days and merging them together.
Yeah.
I have not been. Either I'm not doing something right, or I don't have the option, or I don't know what I'm doing.
So click on the
Taking a while to
daily
load.
profile. Here's our daily profile, right?
Okay, yeah.
So set up the TPO and let it refresh. It's about to do its calculation. And you just right click and it says merge with previous profile. And I did that today, right? And then you just merge a few times. It's really slow. So
Oh, so you have to merge each profile you're looking at with the next profile behind it?
That's correct.
So you can do like 7 days or something? Okay.
That's what I did today, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to do that and I was like lost.
No, you just have to merge it with previous. So, Quant Tower has much easier way to do it, right? You can click on one and say merge to the right. And it basically merges, from point in time. Almost like an FVP for TPO, which should be very difficult to do, but yeah.
Is Quant Tower a little bit more responsive when it comes to the loading? Because it does take a little bit. Okay.
To me, it's much quicker than, I don't even know where my daily profiles are now. Like this one takes a really long time on. Yeah, it's still processing here.
So you were looking at it merged in
yeah, today
real time?
I was watching it today with basically a full 6-7 days. So whatever this day was, May 15th.
I will say your tip of us having the trading view TPO on with the line graph instead of the candlesticks helped me realize that, like, helped me take that short at 42 because that was also the
42 short
midpoint.
was 42 short was was a beauty.
Yeah.
I wanted higher, but it's better for you to want something cheaper or sell higher than it is for you to chase and buy or sell. You will remember me one day when you realize what that means for you. A lot of people are eager to go in and short a level, but if I can short higher and still reach my target, that's it's much better for my P&L than it is shorting lower and having wider stop loss, if that makes sense to anyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So sometimes do I miss opportunities? Of course. Yeah, I miss them. But I would say I didn't miss a lot today in terms of shorting. I tried twice long, it failed. And for me, my kind of mental rule that I have, if I have 2 losing trades, that means I'm fighting the market. That's just my rule. It's not really nothing, doesn't mean shit to anyone or market. I usually reassess myself and what is market doing if I'm wrong 2 times in a row.
Could you give us a little insight on, like, so after that second loss, how long did it take you to calibrate and, like,
30
realize 30 seconds? Yeah, you're just so fast.
Yeah, he was really fast with
I
it.
only realized when you sent the profit from your NQ short that, like, snapped me out of it, honestly. And I just took a minute to re-look at all that
I loaded
MGI.
pretty heavy on NQ short.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah, I loaded quite a bit because I was confident. Once I saw that they can't hold this, 48.75, and ES was actually at one point leading the selling on NQ. So when you look at the daily profiles, there was a lot of warnings as well, right? That they're gonna look for a seller, and from there they're gonna sell. I wouldn't have written that in Shorty's Corner if I wasn't seeing something, because a lot of people, and I saw it on Twitter, the new people with market profile teachings, go search the word access high. Everybody said we're very bullish here because we have access highs and balance low. Once you hear the class, even from Peter, he's going to talk to about the bracketed markets and what does it really mean? How do you trade it? In bracketed markets, it's about deception and deceiving you. Because how do you know? How does one know where we're going to go? You don't. Can they give you market clues, EMA stacks, this and that, and do the opposite? Of course, that's their goal. Their goal is for you to do a market buy here, as many as they can, right? As much as they can get in here, and then, punch it into your face while you're buying every single dip and never changing direction, because it was definitely a trend day.
I feel like they did that a lot with it was the middle of the day. Yeah, that where they bounced us at 11 and then to 12 and then back down and up. Yeah, that, and then to come up and then into the come back down, come up, then dump it. Like, they just tried to destroy everyone both ways and then make the move, is what it felt like.
Well, you always have to think, what are they giving you? Right? And what is for free? Sometimes when I make money and it's too easy to make money in that direction, I'm actually worried. If it's so easy to buy NQ and just go long and you make money, that's when you start getting worried. And remember how much we talked about, let's see if you guys recall. Remember when we counted those VPOCs and we said we were at a danger zone? I said we were at 7 to 8 is my
Yeah, I remember from last night.
warning sign. And I even wrote to you guys about the VPOCs, that we had a lot of VPOCs, and usually 7 to 8 is you want to look for that. Whatever you're trading, it's not only about ES. Usually you will get a little bit of an exhaustion from buyers. And if you can't get new buyers, how do you know how strong is the supply? Well, pretty strong in terms of value shift. It shifted traverse basically the whole freaking value. We have, a little bit more to go here. Maybe the offer tomorrow, 52.58, is the prior week value area low. So they can come here, and then you have this massive POC here, I would say at 45. pretty sure if I was to draw here between this and this, we're gonna have a nice little double distribution, right?
What would be your target to enter a short, given that we might be framing down here? Like, where would you let them bring it back up to enter the
Framing
short?
down on a daily, right? This is where you're framing down. Well, okay, that color's fine. This is your framing down level, which is 5306 on the daily, right? Now on the weekly, your daily on, I'm sorry, your framing down on the weekly would be here. Not there, but like here. 5233. So now this, even this sell-off is not very, I mean, it's good, but if they would have sold off below this level, that would have been more meaningful to me. Do you guys get why? Let's hide this daily profile. Why would, if we sold off, if we're really serious about selling off, what if they sold off below this level? Why would that mean more?
Breaking a whole nother level.
We'd be rejecting this balance and we'd be going into that lower balance below.
That's correct. It would be massive because then I would know that your value that you had, right, somewhere around here, 5260, is no longer accepted. Now we're looking into this value right here. So you're shifting. And we know that we have a little gap here, right? So if you don't like this value right here at 5242, which is basically an HVN, right? You have a massive HVN that was kind of in this area. So if you can't find participants to trade here, what is the outcome that we're going to get here on this? As you approach this level of, let's say, 45, I would say draw a little.
If we didn't get buyers there?
Well, I mean, let's say you come here and we're not breaking lower. How do you treat it?
Could start to form a double distribution between the balance we've been in that area.
That's exactly right. You're gonna have a double distribution. All they have to do is spend some time and pop higher. You got a double distribution now. So if we get a double distribution of 2 weeks here, I mean, this becomes a really good bracket to trade to make some money. Because for me, I love trading in a double distribution. I'll take it. I mean, especially if it's in a bracket range like we are, I mean, this becomes good. And you know when you need to get out, right? You look at this. If you're able to, let's say, crack this level here, you're buying somewhere at 45 and you crack this level, oh, you proudly close that short. You close it and you take your hit and you say thanks. And you take the cash from the bank and be happy. Because the drop that will follow is pretty massive. Right? And you can make your money back. So this is a big level that we're coming up to. I'm not saying, I can't say that I'm bullish or bearish. We're just going to have to see who shows up here. Who wants to participate here? So we know this is prior week value area high, right? So this is a level you want to pay attention to. If you want to draw something like this, that's fine. That's 5-point zone, not bad. But watch what's happening. I mean, market still has a little bit of information for you that we haven't fixed. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I think we have so we have something at 64 and 60.
That's correct. Yeah, you have some single prints coming up here, right?
60
so you have
65, I think, 66.
Mm-hmm. So here you have some 63. I think it's a little bit lower on this one here, right? Just because of my time frame. So 60 to 65, a little bit lower.
Yeah, I have 60.
Yeah, and so 60 to about, let's say 60, you have a little bit of a division on single prints. Is it good structure? Yeah, I've seen better, right? Especially because the next day you did what?
Just rocketed.
You gapped. I mean, you closed right here and you opened. Where did you open here? I can't find the day, but oh, okay. So you opened here, you closed that day here. So there's a little bit of a gap there, right? And there's not a lot of volume here. So as they approach this level, this would be an interesting level, because maybe if they start dancing here, that would still mean I'm making what?
Yeah, trending up.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just considering, you know, what are the opportunities and how do I play it? I know there's going to be some buyers here. We're going to see how strong they are. Is there a potential that they just don't care about these people tomorrow? Yeah, high chance. But here, I'm going to be cautious, right? Because this is the, you know, you have the prior week value area low, then you week prior to that, right? You have a major, you know, value area high along with this HVN. This becomes a really good level for traps, right? Where you go peak and you do this. If they want to stay in longer balance in 2 weeks, I mean, why not? They can do that.
You also on your whatever 5 or 7 days on NQ, you're still in value. You're above the 1.
So I mean, I wouldn't take today's day as a victory for bears personally, until they're able to crack below this 40. Let's call it 41. Until you're able to crack below that, yeah, and absorb this buyer that's on the weekly, then I'm not really not interested in being bearish yet. Has the sentiment shifted? I would say certainly, right? Sentiment did shift for me. We did have prior all-time highs, right? Do you guys remember what level that was?
2275.
Yeah, I thought I had 23.25, but that's close enough. We had this level, so they rejected that level. They came back, they bounced. Even today, actually, I was looking for long there. That was my second loss. They came here and then, you know, they stopped me out, and then they had nice little bounce. And then they, of course, dumped. But if they can't hold about previous all-time high, but do you think this is far away from this all-time high?
No.
Yeah, it's not that far, right? So it doesn't mean that, you know, they can't get back inside of it. So for tomorrow, in terms of levels, what do you guys want to see? What level do you have to reclaim for you to look bullish? Not bullish, let's say, to be more in a bullish sentiment for the trading. What level?
All those single prints.
Yeah, I would say the 5306, the same one that you kind of look at for Shorty.
5306, yep.
We bounced a few times off of that 06 level too.
Oh yeah, this is your second bounce that we had. So if they can reclaim this level, I would say you want to stop shorting, in my opinion, because tomorrow's Friday is also, right? So tomorrow this profile will be completed. So if they can reclaim this, that would mean that they're still in the upper value of distribution. Because if you just, you know, ignore everything else, where do we spend most of the price action? In a 2 weeks period, where do we spend most of the time? Obviously on the top.
20 to 40, yeah, on the top.
Yeah, so you spent a lot of time on the top, and now you're not agreeing on that. Think about yourself. If you're a seller, a massive seller here, are you gonna close your short right here?
No.
So there's a high chance that we get a nice little pump. I would love to short here, right? Even if they come up to this level, let's see how they react. I haven't really checked ETH because this is the beginning, right? So if you look at your letters, your letter I is the reason why this went where it did, and then you have single prints coming up all the way here on the daily. You have them until 15. So in terms of the daily structure, could you take this 15 to 23 for long as a scalp? Yeah, but as you're learning to trade, you should avoid these trades because they have a probability of not working more than the ones that you take at the extremes. Until you get comfortable, you don't trade in between in the middle of a 2-week profile. I would suggest that you learn how to trade the extremes first, and as you get better and you learn about the micro levels and seeing the picture differently, right? Some people might say, well, if you crack this level, there's a high chance you're going to go to the 2-day value area high. to get to the two-day value area high here, they need to go literally through hell of sellers. So the odds of you, if you go here in the middle and you're expecting a lot of points, you're going to get stopped. But if you're shorting, let's say above, let's say 42, was there a reason why I couldn't expect us to go all the way to value area low here? Well, maybe not today, but I can definitely expect them to continue tomorrow. Maybe I just have to find a short where they will reload, right? So that's what I'm going to be watching tomorrow, right? So on your weekly time frame, I would say, let me just put this. So this is your weekly developing, let me just spill the water. Is this the base or the end? Let's see who's falling. Is this the base of single prints?
No. It's the end?
It's always the base.
Oh.
They started here, right?
Oh, I thought you meant, okay, my bad. I misread.
This is the period, right? I was selling. So the J period kind of stopped and went to the high of this. And you're really, as important as this level is here, you're watching this for, I would say 90 will be fairly important as well. If they can reclaim 90 here, what would you expect them to go to?
95.
Would I sell my position at 95?
No, they could go all the way up to 15.
There's a high chance they can do this. Can you catch this? What is this? 16 points here? Certainly.
Yeah, we're actually up by around 95 right now.
They're doing it right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We've gone up above the single prints. We're just below that start of the other single print, the large group.
So now there's a high chance you can catch this, right? If you go above 16, can you scalp this? Certainly. But here, what I typically do, I'm giving you a little bit more insight, is when I look at this, what else do I look for here? What else do you guys, what other information I'm looking for in this area?
Volume.
Spike candle, the one they overlapped.
Okay. There's
You
a
also
little bit of
you also have the value low of the current, which is within that.
But what other piece of information from market can help me confirm a trade here, like my probability or the odds to be in my favor? Is there any other piece of information that can help me?
Yeah, that period's low.
Footprints, yeah. I mean, why can I not go to the footprints and see where the sellers loaded? Right? I mean, nothing stops me, right? So we know that there were sellers here, and if you go into whoever has it up, I'll have it up in the morning. Whoever goes, in this section right here, check to see if there's any orders here between 303 and 06. See if there's any just supply that was pretty big. It had to be. So
Are you talking about the footprints?
Yeah, there has to be something in there.
I have it up right now.
Yeah, just check on 5-10 minutes and you'll see that there's going to be some kind of inequality somewhere here. Low HVN for the selling period compared to everything else, it should be bigger. And then they sold off and they continued, right? So now if I can come here and they regain this level of, let's say 95, yeah, they can potentially, run this all the way to 306, and that would be a little tough area because then on a weekly time frame, you're getting back inside this zone right here. So right now they're in the bottom of that distribution, and if they knock here tomorrow, they say knock knock, and they get in and they lose this, I guarantee you, you're going here. And that, some people are like, how do you know? That's just how it works. Because if I sold here aggressively and I'm reconfirming my short here, that means get out of the way. You're going to have to come in with a lot more buying to take all of my selling. Right. So then you're watching, say, hey, as this guy, would he close from, let's say, 43.50 all the way to 42.41? There's a high chance. And how would you know that he would close? Well, if we come here and we get this and then you get these little dips, and let's say footprints show a little bit of absorption, some, heavy selling, but the price is not going lower. Well, then what do you think this guy did from this position, if that's happening?
Unload his position.
He covered. He started covering and taking his short closed. He's been selling, and now he's like, hey, I have a little bit of runners. I don't know, let's just say 100 contracts. And he's like, but we're not going lower low. I see on the tape, of course, they use some kind of orders volume. And like, we're not going lower. And he's like, man, I'm just going to close it. So as soon as he closes it, we get a little relief and we go higher. Because his closing is buying to cover. So watch this. Watch how it plays out, because I can teach you this, but the only thing I can do is click and give you confidence. Right? The teachings should give you confidence, but they will only give you confidence if you trust yourself enough to take the trade. If you have to hear me or any other experienced trader say, oh, I'm short, should that make you feel good if, majority of the market is with you? Yes, but that's what you want on every trade. You want a majority of the market to be with you. So it should be a norm, not an exception in your mind. So
I sent you a screenshot on the main chat of the footprints from when that happened.
What time frame are you on?
That's 5 minute.
That was between 140 and 150. There's 3 candles right there.
Yeah, so that was the candle that I just highlighted here. So look at look what you sent and look what's showing there. You see it?
The single prints? The imbalances, the zeros, is that what I'm?
There's a selling imbalance right there at between 305 and 306. And we are 302 to 305, 75, 306. So what we're looking at, he sent me this. You see these imbalances here? That means aggressive seller, they swept the tape here, meaning everything that was there for buying got absorbed by the sellers. And they went lower, more aggressive sellers, and then they bounced, and then you see what happened here. There's some sellers here right now. And then you see here a little bit higher, if you take a look at this candle here, there's a little bit of HVN here. There's a tiny bit of HVN here. Compared to the rest, right? You're always looking in context of the time frame you're on. Definitely some here at 303-ish. So from here to about 307, 303 to 307, there's a little bit of volume.
Here, I can send you really quick. I'll throw in the 30 minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say compare that, right? So if you guys are looking, if you're not familiar with this, so this is your 30 minute, and look at the levels. Let's say 304 to 302, massive HVN in terms of orders. And then you go here, right? When we looked at that candle, it was pretty clear that they spent some selling here, right? They tried and then they got absorbed, and then they went lower, right? Let me see, where are we on ETH now? Oh, there we go. We're about to go. This might be on a tap, it might not be a bad short. Might just tap and give you a couple of points.
Shorty, I have a question. What makes you determine if you'll enter a position like on a tap, or when you wait for like a level to be reclaimed and then like go under, like today on the CPOC?
So the more time you spent below this level, right, as you did here, it's almost like it's creating a value here. So if they come here, right, if they get in here, let's say at 90, and I tap this, and I know there's sellers at, let's say 95, I wouldn't give them that much tonight. I would basically put my stop loss right about here, which should be maybe 94, right? Add a quarter, and I'll be able to play this. And the reason why I would do that is if they're finding value here, right, which they are, if they've spent 60 POs below, then I'm expecting who to show up here. Who should be here?
Sellers.
I should have somebody protecting this, right? So if it peaks above and fails, is that a better trade than here? Yeah, of course, but you got to be here and PJ sitting and waiting. You can just leave a limit here, right? And sell, but that's the only reason why I would do that. If you're spending a lot of time there and there's a massive single prints like we have here, this is basically the beginning of your single prints to the upside where the emotional selling stopped. So if this is the extreme, I expect sellers to be there right on that level. Well, they're already, I guess, we're at once.
We're at 95 right now, flat.
Right. Okay, join tool.
Do you then, Shorty, do you wait for a finished auction in the situation? Because I know sometimes we get up to a level and you're feeling that you're looking at footprints that it doesn't look like a trade. And so how do you fine tune that? Because that gets me.
That will be a little bit, I would say, I'm not trying to be mean or, deceiving, but once you can put the puzzle of, I'm looking at the screen here and your expectations on every trade need to be in correlation, right, with order flow, you have to work with them together. When I look at the level, I'm like, okay, well, you have an unfinished auction. That means that there's somebody's going to pull back a little bit and then they're going to finish that auction. When you hit a major level where you're expecting a rejection, I want it to end there. I want the new auction to start lower.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't see that, my confidence level is like, okay, obviously somebody's willing to pay more. I just have to wait for him.
Mm.
So if I wait for him and somebody sells it to him and he's the final buyer, then I go screw that guy. And that's the mindset that kind of plays in the background of my head. How do I not get screwed? And unfortunately, this is a zero-sum game. Somebody always gets screwed. But my goal is that it's not me that's taking the candle lighting up on the top and holding 52.95 and a quarter for a win while the price goes lower. I want the auction to finish, especially on like 5 minutes or something lower, right, on the entry times, to make sure that I'm at least one more probability that the trade's going to go in my favor. It just adds a little bit more confidence when I want to execute it.
I think live trading with you really helps see that, because I've seen you, like, if let's just say they're running it up and we wanted to short 95, but they're going through it. A lot of times I'll just enter and I'll get wrecked, and then I'll be like, all right, well, they're going to run it. And I don't look to actually find where the top is, but you immediately will like hawk in on it and look for when is it actually going, because it has to stop somewhere, and you're like looking for where it's going to stop and then re-entering.
Yep. I mean, being what I mean by, what I was trying to say, I think it becomes more of an experience as you get more comfortable, more confident in what you're looking for. Of course, you're going to fine tune. I mean, just like any athlete or any doctor, do you think the heart surgeon that did his first surgery was very confident on that patient?
No, probably not.
Oh, probably not.
I don't.
Now imagine yourself, put yourself today, hedge fund hires Mr. Bean, they give you $100 million trading account. Do your emotions arouse? Do you get excited? Do you get scared to click that buy button with 1,500 contracts?
I'd be very cautious.
Yes, you will be. So until you start treating every trade like that, right? Because sometimes people, this is a habit of humans, right? When the price is going higher and it just reaches a level, we typically say, man, it can't go any higher. I'm just going to short it here because we already ran high. Market does not function that way. Market goes up till it finds sellers like it did today. We opened pretty high. We gapped NVIDIA. I don't even know how many points it ran. I think like $200. and then they're looking to deliver the pain, and they did. So.
Do you take into account the fact that it's going to be a long weekend and it's Friday.
Yes.
What does that mean for you?
Doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
You're
going to wait for the MGI?
I'll just look at the data. If they can reclaim this levels, I don't care if it's Monday is any day. I care what this is telling me. Are they accepting the price or not? If they're not, then you're going to know quickly, right? We're going to find out tomorrow morning. Where they open tomorrow. Let's say if they open tomorrow above 5307, do not short that. Right? That means that they're rejecting the lower value of this profile today, that they want to go trade up. So there's certain factors that matter. For, Monday being closed, could there be a bigger sell-off? Yeah, but couldn't there be a bigger buying if there, some news are coming? It's predicting. You can flip a coin, you can get same answer, positive and negative. Okay. Well, on to NQ. Well, before I go, is everybody comfortable how you guys would play this tomorrow, let's say?
Plan seems solid.
5306.
Yeah, you want to watch 5306. There's trades in between these levels you could definitely take, but your sentiment really doesn't change. I would say, 07 to 06, if they can regain that parity value and this single prints on a weekly, that's a big spot, guys. That's a fairly big spot here. I would say this is your, the heart of this spots right here between 06 and 07 reclaiming. You have a high chance to run because then you're going back in value. Right now you're rejecting it. And would this be a really good short here? Yes. And so would the 5315 on the daily. So we were going to watch and see what they do in 06. And what you guys just asked, like you have to zoom in and see tomorrow, are they selling or not at 06? If we see that, there's not much selling, you should be seeing tomorrow. Where should you see the orders tomorrow as we come here? Where should the numbers be here tomorrow?
On the left. Oh, the top right. It could be, they could have limits at the top right as well.
They could be defending this tomorrow. So they could be, we're watching to see if they're here or they're here. And on 5 minutes, they're pretty quick to tell you. Like, hey, we're here, completed auction, big seller. And then let's say you get I'm just going to put an arrow, a large number here. And the level below, you get a red number here. What would this mean?
Aggressive
sellers.
Somebody sold a lot, and then he was trying to quickly sell more. And the price continued lower. Unless this comes in and the price goes above this, then that's different. Because that means what on this bid?
Limit buys.
That it was limit buys. Would they have limit buys here? You have to look at the context of the chart. For me, some reason I doubt that they will have limit buys at this level. Is there limit buys from our friends like Jake at 5,300? Yes. You can definitely catch a bounce here for a quarter of a point. And I need to stop drawing so much. Okay, so does that make sense? So we're watching 306. Can you check? Well, now that we're almost gone, there was a trade that you could have taken, from 90 all the way to this 95, 5 points, not a lot, but once they crack 95, you want to see the behavior of them accepting price above, and you don't want them dipping below 90, let's say here. If they dip below 90, that means this is rejected. We're most likely headed here. If they go here and they hold and they make, let's say, lower highs, and then they have a candle that breaks that, there's a high chance you're going to catch this. We wait and see what happens. If there's sellers here, great. That means other time frame participants are there, especially on the weekly level. And then you have a daily single prints that are sitting at 15. And tomorrow, this would be your halfback sitting right here. Okay. As of right now, we are framing down on daily. We have long ways to go on a weekly. I think 33. Yeah, 33 and a quarter. But this is a good start. I just wish that, you know, they did close on the bottom. I just wish that this profile would have shifted a little bit. And then we went from here, and then we put in from the consolidation here that we put in the lower low. That's what we're going to watch tomorrow to make sure if we catch this right, that tomorrow, you know, is there a chance that these people are going to be buying here because that gap? Remember, we had a gap here. Yeah, there's going to show up just like they did today. Remember, I think I was typing up. I was like, there's going to be gap buyers today. Do you guys recall? And they came, as soon as they came here, they started buying. I bought with them a few contracts. Why not? If there was an abundance there of supply to sell, we should have, you know, destroyed these guys. But people will not interested, probably selling at the lows when they know if there's a lot of people buying the gap. What can they do to sell? You can sell it higher. So that's what they did. Okay. On NQ, I think it's fairly similar story, but here, when you look at the profiles on NQ, I'm gonna go in ETH. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. We are in balance. I mean, balance literally off of the first seg. Even if you don't capture, let's see, if you don't extend it right and you, let's say we don't include this day, you'll see where's the, so your first sig was sitting somewhere around here, 647, then we went 620. So on the reclaim of that, I mean, you could have caught it for a little bit. But right now, your first sig is basically where we were bouncing, right? And you had a VPOC here as well. That was a good bounce. So now you got to watch, you know, again, you're playing with really minimal levels here. At least I would on NQ. These will be the levels that I'm watching to trade between. So I would have a nice little zone right here for a long, and then your short would be somewhere around here. Then I'll draw a little box.
On your 6-day, are you getting 790 or 749 ish?
For CPOC, yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm just checking myself.
It's right, 749 even.
Okay. And then 802.5 or so is the top, the SIG one on the top.
I have 780 as SIG one.
780. Okay.
What is your row size, maybe?
My row size, I'm using normal ETH of volume profile on the 30-minute chart.
Oh, are you talking about?
Or actually, 65-minute. No, it was the 7-day. Yeah, like the current side setting is what I was looking at.
Yeah, my first figure is 780, right? And I would mark it all the way at 793. Okay. And then we have a VPOC from today that's sitting somewhere at 896. So if they're able to reject, you know, out of this zone, meaning accept prices higher, this is a possibility. Tomorrow, if they come here, is a possibility right here. Is there a high chance that they're just going to do nothing tomorrow? There's also a high chance of that. If they don't make it a trend day or within the first 1 hour, we're not extending that, you know, initial balance. Just be careful because we might not catch a lot of good trades there. But being like somebody said that it's, you know, we're closed. Is there a chance that we might do some stuff tomorrow? Well, who knows, right? We just gonna have to see where do we open, right? You have a lot of value area here that's stuck right at the CPOC. So just for being crazy, I'm probably gonna swing short on NQ here. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little short here, 50-ish level.
Okay. Is that something you put a limit in for?
Yeah, I just put a limit. I'm gonna give them more points, but sometimes they run it just to get your stop loss in a PJ hours. So I will give them a lot more points. Probably put a little bit higher here. I know you guys can't afford it, but I'm not asking you to. But I'm doing this. If they can get here, they can have my money overnight. But let's see what they do. I'll probably give them 17 points actually instead of all the way up because that'd be too many points. So somewhere around here, I'll find the 50% of
You're going to take that on an actual NQ.
Yeah. So I'd look to put my stop loss somewhere a little bit, maybe 70 and a quarter, so 22 points. Ideally, I would target somewhere here on the bottom. So if I lose it, that's okay.
I mean, the RR is still good, I guess.
It'll be really good. If I do this, that's 5.7. If I do this, that's 3. So you can play this or this, depends. So if I play this, I'll probably start trailing once we crack this here somewhere and then enjoy it.
I had another question. What time do you typically check the charts in the morning? I know you have like kids and stuff.
Well,
I see
I
you.
wake up at 5:15 in the morning. I turn on just on my phone. I look at see what they did. Because on TradingView, I still get to see all these levels. Every drawing that I have stays there on the mobile app. So I'm able to quickly see, are we above the key levels or below? And I'm typically only looking at ES in the morning because the levels on ES are in my head. There's too many numbers here and I'm dyslexic, so I can flip all of these. Right, so in my head, I just can't follow that many numbers. But so ES, I look at probably 5:30 is my first glance. I don't really start looking at it, to understand what's happening and prepare 8:30. At 8:30, I sit down and I look to see what did we go? Is the inventory net long or short? And then from there, I'm trying to figure out what is the plan. So for instance, if this is my settle price for tomorrow, 5286, what are they telling you right now?
We want to explore higher.
Well, they're telling you the overnight inventory is long. So ideally, these boys can do a lot of magic for me if they do this overnight. So if you guys want to propel this and hop on this bandwagon here and just kind of do this, that'd be great. I would appreciate it. Bring it to here, because why would I expect this to work?
Single prints. It's for the big initiating
Why
sell.
would I expect this short to work?
Imbalance there too.
Okay, what's another reason?
If we reject value higher.
Okay, give me one more reason.
Destroy the not long people?
Yeah, if my inventory is not long, how do I rebalance the inventory in the morning?
Sell it.
So
you sell it. I'll just put this so you guys have it. So yes, if at the close the settle price of 415, if after hours we're trading above, that means the overnight session participants are net long, right? Is there people that leaves the long overnight and goes away? Yeah. But if these people are enjoying it, right, and they don't take the profits and they start loading up more, well, to rebalance the inventory, right, to bring it back in check, we can definitely do this. I'll probably target first here, right? So I would look, this would give me a little bit more confluence that, we're going to rebalance and hopefully this doesn't execute overnight. It would be ideal that it happens, right? Like around 8:45 tomorrow. That'd be perfect. Okay. And then for NQ, just make sure you guys do the same exercise on the TPOs, right? So if you go here and insert, let's say weekly, I would just make sure that you understand, is there any value division for the weekly time frame? So here's your weekly. You can probably drop this to 5 here. And do you guys see anything that's screaming, hey, I'm bearish? Because this is a pretty good profile on a weekly. Why do I say that?
It's a perfect D shape, basically, right?
Yeah, it's a perfect D shape. This is a perfect distribution, guys, of time. And I would say probably your volume is going to be identical here. So it's not much to be bearish actually here, right? Till they lose this level below and they start rejecting and searching for value. Right below that, there's a lot of poor structure on NQ, right? So if you look here, how we got there, 1-2 periods a lot, and then you have a lot of singles here with the gap, and it really doesn't start. And when you think about, the price action, so I don't know why I did that. When you think about this is the current week, and then you have the previous week, NQ has a lot more to reverse than ES, if you ask me, because ES is already at that equivalent level. So NQ can really, this could happen tomorrow. If they lose this level, this could be a day activity, guys. Look, this is quick.
Wow.
A huge move.
We got 300 points.
So, that's nothing, man. I saw in the video move $200 today. Yeah, I think it's doable. I think it's definitely doable. Am I gonna be bearish at this level?
No,
not really. I don't want to be. You don't want to be shorting the whole. So I would not look to short there instantly. But once they establish that they don't like this value, we'll look for a low retest. Remember, your goal. A lot of people are like, man, I want to be short here and catch all of that. That's great, and I guess I'm gonna spoil your dreams. That doesn't work. Right? So either you're gonna play the extremes lows and participation where expected buying is gonna happen, or you're really jumping on the initiation of selling. Right? So, and when people are shorting, right, they might want to shake people out before they go. And if your buying power doesn't allow that to handle it, maybe you won't be in there for long. Even if they do this and you find a nice imbalance, obviously this would be balance, and you find a nice footprint here now that I have a lot of drawing here, it's okay if you don't catch this short here. You can buy it on the retracement here and then go there. A lot of you guys are so fascinated or stuck on a level being exact entry on a short. I would say it's much easier to play longs than it is to play shorts. And a lot of people, traders, will tell you that. So
why is that?
Just let me give you a reason here.
Oh, yeah. Markets go up.
Numbers go up.
Let me give you a really good reason. But you're
Yeah.
like 2000. How old are you?
96.
Okay, so young buck, 96. So ever since then, man, yeah, you would have been a millionaire putting a few pennies here, right? So 460% on SPX. Markets typically tend to go up. They have pullbacks and they always find buyers until a black swan event happens, right? And then wipes it all out. You're not here to catch the black swan event. You will never catch it. For instance, here's your SPY. We're a little bit above the value.
That's crazy. That's the whole FRVP right there?
Yeah, from 93 to now.
Damn.
Wow.
So, and you see, volume-wise, is there a lot of buying here? It's not catching up much. So.
Wow, that looks crazy.
Yeah, I don't know when you guys start trading, but this consolidation here was pretty good to some. And then eventually this is where stuff started going up. This is your March of 2020 pullback. And then of course, even from there, we are up significantly.
Did you perform during COVID?
What do you mean? Like,
how did you do?
I did pretty good. Yeah. They screwed me on a few plays, but yeah. When they had limit downs, I had a lot of issues with TD Ameritrade.
Yeah, stuff got weird.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I had a really good years there, and then I bought a lot of good companies as well. My curve looks pretty good in terms of long-term portfolio, mainly because I bought quite a bit. Like a lot of people on Discord, when I was there, I was buying a lot of tech companies that were, now a lot more expensive than where we got them. So hopefully they give us something. Not a World War III, but something. I would take COVID again. I really would not mind COVID. I think it was pretty good times. I hate it for the people that died too. It was not that bad, man. There was no traffic.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, by the way, PFE is doing well. I checked my long-term account.
Yeah, the election's not far away, so something's coming.
Oh yeah, something's coming, and they're gonna try to scare people out. So it's about supply and demand on those voting machines. I'll let you guys.
Shorty, can you
predicting the next COVID?
take a quick look about Wolf?
Wolf?
Yeah, it sell up pretty heavily today.
Well, I mean, I wonder why.
It reacts to the market pretty quick.
And I mean, if you look at this, Nvidia had a decent sell-off. I mean, you're talking about 63, and it went all the way to 16. That's, I mean, in normal, that's a lot, right? But I think Wolf is.
If the market comes back up tomorrow, Wolf will go with it.
Oh yeah, I would say Wolf is going to 23.81. It'll be okay. I mean, this is a nasty candle though. Maybe let me view and check volume. We should be catching a bounce here or here on Wolf. But that's a nasty sell-off though. I thought Baba had a bad day as well. Oh, Baba's trying to hold a key level here.
Yeah,
I thought they had some sort of bad news.
Yeah, invasion to Taiwan and stuff.
I thought they had something. I thought they had something else. That they had some other news I heard. I don't remember exactly what it was. I thought it had to do with management or something. I could be wrong.
I think their management's the Chinese government now, so not sure what's gonna happen. I'm still not out. I mean, I have a really good average. I think, I don't know, Arch knows. I think we had a target actually right in somewhere between 86, actually, first target to 90-ish. My goal is to sell this closer to 125-ish. So I'm looking for a little bit more money on Baba. So I'm gonna stay in it, right? If they go below here, there to let's say clear this low, I'll probably close it and look for a cheaper price. But Baba's okay for now. And then Wyckoff, do you guys know what this is called? You guys read the book, Pivot Boss? Do you guys know what this is called?
What was the book?
The Pivot Boss, and then the Wyckoff Structure 2.0. What is this called? Do you guys know? It's called a test. So now they gotta test this to see. Usually they dip, and then they would go.
Oh, is that where you get the test drive from?
No, well,
no.
Mark it up. I mean, he does talk about it in the book. He does have it in the book, but yes, yeah.
It looks like it.
Go lower, right? And then you do this, man. This would be a really good spot to go long. I know it looks scary as hell, but if you lose or regain it, that's a that's a rocket. Because they would have shaken out all the longs from it, and then they rip it.
That's about what Wolf did a few weeks ago when it dropped to $20.50.
Yeah, when you bought it, I bought it a little bit higher. Bought it higher than you.
I didn't get it all the way to the bottom, but
you got much better fill than I did. Like this is what you're talking about here.
Yep.
No, you got much better fill than I did. Yeah, I mean, if it comes here at 23, and like if they dip this a little bit below, but look at this candle here on the daily.
I think that was the day.
That's
what it dropped to right there on that candle. That was the day that I bought back in.
Yeah, no, you had a really good entry there. So 2061.
Yeah, my average is $21 and change on what I got right now.
Yeah, mine's at 20, like 3 and maybe 20 cents, 21. Well, I was up, but this is not what I'm looking for. So keep on holding. There's a lot of buying here on some of these candles. And then here's your selling.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up yet. So I'll keep holding, but this is not bad. I think this for me is going to be a much longer period hold than a year. Right. Ultimately, I would want to see if this company gets any of the chip money and if I can eventually, you know, in this area start selling, because that'll be almost 4 or 5 times the money.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yep. I mean, I have a decent chunk of it. Pfizer, I have a lot more. It's like now it's at 14% of my portfolio. So. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I'll be trading live 9:50, 9:20.
Thanks, Shorty.
Appreciate it, Shorty.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Good night.